Hello, everyone. This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come In at Night.
Boy. Mostly.
I don't even know really what to say about this one. This is a special kind of slasher film.
Here's the thing.
I
With slashers, I mean, the one exception we've had was Final Exam.
Yeah.
But the one good thing about slashers is that they are always entertaining.
Yeah, and this is no exception to that
This is no
rule.
exception to that, though
It's probably
whoever wrote this should probably get, like, their head examined.
It's probably the smallest brain fucking
This is a
bullshit I've seen
It's like a small
in
brain
a long time.
trying to be a big brain.
They were trying so hard to like do something like that pushes the envelope, right? Because they added something that you didn't expect, right?
They got me there.
It's done so poorly and so awkwardly that it's like it just comes off hilarious.
That's like 90% of this movie.
Awkward and like just not well done.
You're just like, why would you do that?
The whole movie's awkward, including the acting by the actors.
It's fine.
I mean, yeah, it's entertaining, at least.
It's not offensive.
No, it's entertaining.
It is entertaining.
That's what we needed.
Because, boy, you spend like 20 minutes with these people where it's just banter and they're really like trying to like be like, look, these guys are friends. These people are friends and they're dating and they're
Right, exactly.
They're this and that, and then after that it's just baby's first horror.
Yeah, they don't really go too many like places that you haven't seen,
Which is fine.
Better in different movies,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
you know what? It's fine for what it is. It's only an hour and 25 minutes.
Again, yeah,
This might be a short little critique of it because honestly, there's not a lot here.
There really isn't.
It's just kind of a short throwaway slasher film that you'll have probably as entertaining a watch as we did. So
Yeah.
to be honest, because it's like there's nothing to hate here. But
No, there's nothing.
There's not a lot to really like either. But
It's fine.
it's just it's an okay movie.
The film is The Forest.
The Forest.
So, hey, you got another slasher in the woods.
I guess
Classic.
Before we get into the real meat and potatoes of this, we have to shill for a minute.
You're right.
Okay?
Please.
So, please.
Wherever you listen to this podcast.
Just go follow us somewhere.
Spotify, YouTube, Apple, Amazon, wherever. Please hit the like us, subscribe, whatever you got to do.
Is this going to be an ongoing thing? Absolutely, yes. Because you know what? We want more subscribers.
Because, I've taken marketing classes before. So please, wherever you listen to
Yeah,
us.
clearly we've taken marketing classes, so please do it.
Please give us a like and subscribe wherever. And we also have a subreddit, so if you want to.
Go post memes, become part of the community, just
we're everywhere.
Do whatever. We're everywhere.
Follow us wherever.
We specifically, I think we want more, at this point, more YouTube subscribers if we can.
I mean, wherever you listen to the podcast, like actual podcast, I mean, honestly, I'll take it anywhere, but the big ones, YouTube, Podbean, and if possible, Spotify.
We're doing pretty good on Apple.
Yeah.
Apple. We're on Apple Podcasts too, which is actually going really well. So if you want,
We're everywhere. And listen, if there's somewhere we're not, please tell us.
You could even possibly be the first to review us if you want to leave a review anywhere on any of those sites.
Yeah, be gentle.
Yeah, please. I mean, don't put us on blast. But you
It's not a professional outfit.
You can review us if you'd like.
And if there's
we're not celebrities or anything. So.
And if there's some place where you listen to podcasts and we're not on there, please let us know.
So that's it. That was our deal. Let's get on to
The Forest.
Our critique of The Forest.
So the film,
it's basically it's basically a nature documentary. It's kind of shooting the rodeo because I guarantee it was just people on a hiking trip.
Well, I mean, it's not even like
it's not shooting the rodeo because like they weren't I guess they technically weren't on a hiking trip, but like
No, they did. It's not really that. I mean, shooting the rodeo is like, oh, there's something happening and we're gonna film it because we don't gotta fucking spend money.
that's fair, yeah.
Whereas this is like, no, they wrote the film and they did, to their credit, actually go out in the woods and have our actors jumping around in rivers and rocks and, laying under dirt and getting filthy.
So the basic setup is we have this couple, and they're going to go on a camping trip. So the women are going to go up separately.
Well, you forget the intro.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. So we get 2 campers.
Coming somewhere, and they're walking, and
They're getting stalked by a dude, and the woman keeps getting nervous, so she, decides to lead because she wants to know what's going on in front
and
of
the
them.
guy's like, it's no big deal, and then he starts getting nervous.
For literally no reason, this guy just starts getting, really
why?
nervous. He didn't even hear a sound or
He
anything.
psyched himself out.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Congratulations, you played yourself. I know that's an old meme, but still.
So he did. He psyched himself out.
He played himself.
And then, we get shots of, someone, behind them, running around, bushes, and they keep missing them. And then, suddenly, our guy sees something coming towards him, and then we get a knife.
Oh yeah, no, they display it like the Home Shopping Network. Like, look at this knife.
Well, they just film, and the guy just takes the knife and points it at the camera.
Look, here's the
look
murder
how
weapon.
shiny and big it is.
It's like if Jason showed off his machete before stabbing someone, or here, look at this, look at the new murder weapon. Here
and
it
then
is.
He stabs the guy.
He just stabs the guy. The guy makes a weird, and she's like, "Are you okay?
Did you
what's
say
going
something?"
on?
And then the guy's like, ugh. Then he dies.
She runs over. She sees the dead body.
And then she
freaks out and runs away. And
the guy catches her.
And
again, he displays the knife multiple times. Except
well,
now it's covered in
he
blood.
stabs it into a tree, and then he swipes at her, and you see the knife just clearly going past the screen.
And then he catches her, and then slits her throat, and then
start movie
film.
So basic setup, you don't really need to know a bunch. It's just banter with these people.
It's 2 couples.
It's these 2 couples. The women are feeling independent, so they want to go up before the men, but they ask the men to come up that night. Yeah. Basically follow them. So
one of
I
them does.
I don't even get the whole. This thing made no sense to me because literally one of them is well, I've never been camping and I want to prove to myself that I can do this. I can hike and I can go camping. I'm like, hell yeah, you go, girl.
But then one of them's
like, hey, will you come up tonight?
And the guy's like, maybe. But we all know.
Well, but then the girls are even saying oh, well, I hope they come up tonight. It's like, what is going on?
Because basically as soon as they get up there, they're immediately like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, well, it's funny because literally the women leave, and then the 2 dudes get in the truck and leave right after them.
And then because when they drive away, the guy's like, I don't know, maybe I'll come up tonight. And then as soon as the woman leaves, the guy's like, okay, buddy.
Okay, let's get ready.
Bro.
His bro has to put on a Levi jean jacket, and then they're ready to go
with his sleeping bag. And then they're done. They're going, and then we get so many shots of our dudes and our chicks going through traffic
and just talking about nothing.
Just witty banter.
It's not even. I would. Witty is kind of a stretch, but banter.
It's banter. And the women get there, and everything's fine. The guys, something's with their car.
It's a radiator thing.
And then they stop, and some fucking Goomba named Roger or Carl or something.
Some mechanic swindles them out of a bunch of money.
Is this gonna be long? He's like, oh, not long, and it shouldn't cost too much. And he's like, hey. He kind of laughs.
It took 4 hours and
it takes 4 hours
$120.
$120
because they specifically say that
1982 money. And then they drive away. They're like, I can't fucking believe this. And then the guy just stands there and laughs at him as they drive away.
So they go up, and then the women get to a clearing. I guess they get to the campsite. I guess
where they're going to be camping.
So they get to the campsite and they try
a clearing next to a river.
I don't get this because they start spreading out the tent, and then they get to the poles, and there's clearly poles there, but then it makes a womp womp sound.
Well,
And
it does the womp womp, and then the woman who's, I guess, more experienced kind of laughs. And the other woman's like, ugh.
if there's any campers out there that knows what the fuck is going on, like, I'm a hiker, but I'm not a camper. Like, if you can tell me what the fuck is going on in this scene,
What's supposed to be
really
funny?
like an explanation of why this is supposed to be funny, because I didn't get it. I was like, it's clearly the poles for the tent. Why is this funny? Like, what is going on?
Is there something wrong with the poles?
Like, what's going on? She just, like, throws them down in frustration, and the other girl laughs, and I don't get it. I don't understand.
It's too deep for us, okay?
It really is. The camping joke went too deep.
It's too niche, okay? And then, like, the guys finally get there, and some park rangers like, well, we've had some people go missing. They haven't found them.
Now, I have to say this, like, just before we continue. I love how it's broad fucking daylight, and
like
they
it's the night
and they keep acting like it's like night in like 30 minutes or an hour, and I'm just like,
it's broad daylight.
you can see the sun rays like coming directly down above them, and I'm like, okay, the sun is not setting. Like, you guys are fine.
They try.
They did try.
They try.
I get it, because they don't show where the sun is at, so they're just like, you just have to believe.
It just happened to be the day.
You have to believe that they're gonna
Believe it, Will.
believe.
This is when we had time to film. Believe us. And the park ranger's like, well, like, people go missing, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, how long are you going to be? Oh, like 5 or 6 days. He's like, okay, well, I'll check on you in a week.
I also want to point out none of their packs are packed for 6 days. Like, literally, the two dudes have a sleeping bag tucked into their backpack. Like, again, I'm not a camper.
Sounds like a nitpick. Well,
it is a nitpick, but it's just a hilarious one because they say 5 days and their sleeping bags are the only thing that's in their fucking backpack.
Are you telling me that this film,
I know,
The Forest, has logical
I'm not
issues?
Listen, I know it's a nitpick. It doesn't really matter to the film. I just think it's hilarious that they thought the backpacks were stuffed enough to realistically be like a 5-day camping trip.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the rest of the film is so realistic and logical.
I know. It was just funny because they said 5, and it just made me chuckle because like the backpacks are not loaded for 5 days of camping.
I think they needed to write a reason in the film for why the park ranger wouldn't have checked on them after one night.
Convenient.
Because,
like most of the shit in this.
Because the thing takes place over the course of like 2 or 3 nights.
Yeah.
But anyways, they start going, and they're like lost.
They get lost, and it's supposed to be nighttime, and so the girls start hearing a bunch of weird sounds, and then we enter like a plot twist.
There's children watching.
Like, this like shattered like my brain. I don't.
It continued shattering our brains.
Yeah, like it just like the movie just like went places that I did not expect really. So there's 2 children watching these 2 women just like cower in fear with all these animal noises.
And then we're like, what the fuck?
And then a woman shows up out of nowhere.
And she has like a blood streak.
And she's
on
like,
her
have
forehead.
you seen my children? And they're like, no.
Like, if you see them, tell them to come back to me.
Come home.
And then she just disappears.
Like, vanishes into thin air.
It's like, okay.
And I'm just like, wait.
Ghost.
There's, like, ghosts? Okay, so this isn't, like, a slasher film? This is a ghost story?
I know, that's me. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, because I thought, like, maybe, like, the first part was, like, the precursor to all this, like, ghost shit.
No.
No, not at all.
Well,
I was completely wrong.
They start freaking out.
For obvious reasons.
One of them's
like, okay, well, I'm gonna go. She's like, she wants to like go and try and find the cars or something.
Help or something.
Yeah.
So one of them like runs away, and the other one stays there.
And we got a dude.
We get a dad.
So we finally see our fucking slasher. The Chilympiad. He has a fucking like chili competition fucking trucker cap on. Fucking a tattered white shirt. A tattered hoodie and some tattered jeans.
And a really like almost neck beard. It's like a very light neck beard.
Well, and like I love how the hat is like barely sitting on top of his like
His head.
perfectly like coiffed hair.
Oh, dude. But man, the little chili,
It adds to the fucking ridiculous, like the Chilympiad
the
or whatever.
Chilympiad.
Fucking
It's
the
so.
chili competition hat. I just love. Probably it's just they're like okay,
They
well
had that.
they're like okay, well
They had that on hand.
listen, we have a backstory where he doesn't have a hat on, but like we need him to have a hat for some reason.
For some reason.
And they're just like, okay, we'll give him this. I just have this chili competition.
I
hat.
went to the chili.
Okay,
My dad went to a chili competition.
Give him that. Fucking dirty it up and give him that.
It's so stupid.
It's so dumb. It makes it like laughable.
Oh, it's hilarious. 'Cause
Like you know how like slashers have their thing, right? So like you know they have their like
they have a look.
a look,
Yeah.
or like a specific thing that's wrong with their face, so you can like identify them.
Yeah, for horror purposes.
Yeah, because like you want an identifiable slasher. This is like the wrong way to do it. You
There's
don't put a
nothing.
fucking chili competition hat on him and expect him to be fucking terrifying. I'm sorry, it just doesn't happen like that.
I mean, like, what the fuck was, like, you know, it's like killers have their thing, right? Like, you know, Jason's got his machete and hockey mask. Michael Myers has the fucking William Shatner
Freddy
mask.
Krueger has like the burnt face and
And
the
the gloves.
fedora.
The guy from My Bloody Valentine has the minor get up. You know, this movie.
Even movies on our fucking podcast. The guy in the motorcycle helmet in
Helmet in Night School.
in Night School. Yeah,
Like, you know, there's
things or like
or even what's his
what
man?
was that hillbilly
Madman Mars.
Madman Mars? Yeah,
He's like a Santa, like a deformed Santa Claus.
yeah, but at least he had a look.
he's got makeup
But
on.
not
yeah.
a chili hat and fucking tattered fucking clothes.
It's
A
so
fucking chili hat.
even in the stupidest movie ever made.
Final Exam?
No, Final Exam was worse. They
Oh
didn't
yeah,
even
Final
try.
Exam had like nothing.
What's it called? Don't Go in the Woods,
Yeah.
which was like the stupidest movie ever. He still had like the weird caveman getup,
Yeah.
and he was wearing like trash. It's like it's something.
Well, you know, at least they tried a little bit, and they didn't just stick a fucking chili hat on the guy and fucking call it a day.
That's it.
Okay, like they didn't.
Because that's the big difference is you know, because they show us like what he was before he became the slasher.
Well, because yeah, in one part, I guess we'll just get this out of the way.
Well, okay, so
So he kills the woman. He kills the woman by like beating her down with a fucking
And then
knife.
stabbing her.
He like picks her up like 5 times and just like stabs her down.
she just won't die.
and he slits her throat.
And then he
And he goes back into his cave.
and then the dudes
The two
find
dudes
a cave.
find a cave. They find his cave. He's eating meat.
Well, first they see like his cave is like a wicker rocking chair.
Well, okay, so we also have to explain. Sorry, let me, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. He also explains because the children come back and he explains that he has to eat. Like he has to. It's gonna be winter soon, and
Yeah.
he has to chow down on some food. So you obviously know that he's.
That's what he also tells
So
the
not
woman.
only do we have a fucking horrible slasher with a chili cook-off hat, ghost children that appear out of nowhere, a ghost mom
woman, yeah.
that appears out of nowhere, but he's also a cannibal.
Mm-hmm.
Our fucking chili cook-off guy is a cannibal.
He lives in a cave in the
Now,
woods.
what would have been glorious is if he fucking cooked them into chili.
That would have been epic.
See, that they could have made that hat work.
I know.
Because if it has a slasher with a chili cook-off and he cooks people into chili, that could have worked. You
That
know
would've
what?
been
You know
fun.
what? That would have been great.
That would have been a fun gimmick.
I would have loved that.
Would have been a fun gimmick.
The chili murderer.
He's like, "Oh, you guys want to try my award-winning chili?
I've won competitions with this.
Look at this hat. He's got like trophies and shit."
See, we should have made this movie.
We could have made a legit version of this nonsense.
The Chilympian murderer
Instead, we got the stupidest fucking version imaginable.
with fucking ghosts abound and fucking weird. Yeah,
Just
okay.
don't put ghosts in a slasher movie at all.
So he's eating meat and he's like the guys find the cave, and
They see the children.
the husband of the wife that just got murdered is eating his own wife unknowingly.
Well, first they see the children.
Yes.
And the children.
Oh, that's right. And they're like, well, don't be in here because Dad will be mad.
And then they're like, Dad, where's your dad? And then they're like, right behind you. And they turn around and he's there. And then the kids are gone. And he's like, are they your kids? He's like, yeah, they visit me sometimes.
Yeah, and then he's like, they were my kids. And then
he sits down.
They just ignore, I guess, everything he just said.
Because it's like, so at this point it's like raining.
They didn't write him off as a madman.
No.
Like, any normal person would be like, yeah, okay, cool, we're good, thanks. We're gonna head out of your cave. You have a good night. Well, I'm out of here.
It gets funnier because they sleep there.
And the guy even chows down on the meat, that the random mystery meat that the guy is
Well, he tells
cooking.
him it's deer.
Yeah, like a doe.
And he's like, oh, like, yeah, have a bite. And then
the husband of the woman that he's presumably cooking eats some of his wife, which I feel like you could have made that a more horrific scene.
Well, first he's like, oh, it's good. And then he starts, like, shaking. And his friend's like, what's going on? He's like, I don't know, I just got chills.
Now, a good director and a good film crew could have made that a pretty horrific scene. You could have shown, like, flashbacks of her dying or something like that.
Him butchering her, I don't know.
Or seen her head in the corner or something like that. You know, you could have... There was a million ways you could have made this scarier. Well, another thing is that
they never...
But he just gets the chills for, like,
no
reason.
His character never finds out.
Like, that he was eating his wife, yeah.
That he was eating his wife, which is another, like, missed opportunity.
Yes.
But...
Which you could rewrite this movie in multiple different ways and make it a million times better, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. What it is.
It's fine as it is. It's fine. But they start talking, and the guy's like, well, what are you doing here? He's like, I live here, and then he goes into his backstory.
Yes, so
like he's like, I was married. Are you guys married? I was married once. And
his wife, like, was cheating on him with multiple men.
Every day he would come home, and there would be
a different service guy in there.
A salesman, a plumber, or a milkman.
So we get a flashback of him coming home. He doesn't have a beard now.
He's in a lab coat.
He's in a lab coat for some reason. And he walks in, and his wife is just getting, like, about to go to Pound Town with this fucking dude.
With a fridge repairman.
And then, like, she's like, yeah, what'd you think? Like, all those weren't servicemen, those were my lovers.
Well, yeah, because, so in the meantime, the fridge guy is like, well,
you know,
I gotta get back to work.
He's dedicated to his job.
So he leaves. And you think...
Any normal guy would have just left.
You think he just leaves, right? But
right, because any normal person in that situation would just... Nope, the fuck out of that situation.
They would take the L and leave.
Yeah, exactly.
But not our guy.
No, yeah,
as we find out,
he is dedicated to his craft.
So he goes to fix the fridge.
And then
our dude is like, "Where's the kids?"
He opens the closet, and
so
they're just,
she
like,
locks them
in
the closet while she fucks whoever
in the same room.
In the same room,
like not.
And then she's like, "What'd you expect? You are practically impotent." And then our guy,
he, like, starts caressing her, and she, like, likes it, and then, like, he, like, starts choking her. She's like, "You're hurting me," and then he, like, slams her head on the nightstand
and cracks her head open, I guess, and kills her. And then he goes to his kitchen and gets the comically large knife that should not be in a kitchen off of, like, the knife stand.
The scene that follows is seriously one of the most hilarious, like,
beautiful
horror scenes I've seen in quite a while.
So he goes, gets the knife, finds the guy who's actually fixing his fridge.
Just, like, stands there while the guy runs away.
And then the guy runs away.
And he runs into the guy with
and then the guy, like, knocks him down. So the guy somehow teleports. And now we get, like, a shot of, like, it's like one of those, like, wood cutting things.
Yeah, it's just a saw.
And it's just a saw,
and like it's just the teeth of the saw,
like POV.
And our doctor, the guy in the lab coat, is just holding it right in front of the guy,
and then the guy just takes a stick and breaks it over his back, and it's like, that's done.
And then he, like, runs the other way, and then we get, like, prongs of a fucking, like,
POV
of a rake,
like a rake,
like a hay rake, and, like, he's the guy. The guy in the lab coat is just standing there holding it as the guy knocks him over again. And then, no, he fights him off with like half a bicycle.
Okay.
I'm not even kidding. It's like half a bicycle.
It's
and
a junkyard that they're running around in. Whatever we got, use it.
And then like he like runs the other way, and then like there's a saw blade, and like they start tussling, and the guy just like gently puts him on the saw blade and somehow kills him in front of the kids.
And the kids watch all this, and then the next thing we see is like
him burying them,
and then he's like, "Okay, kids, we gotta go now. We gotta leave this cursed place." And then they just walk away.
They just go into the woods.
And the guy's like, "What did you do with like when you found them?" And he's like, "Nothing." And then they just kind of like, "Okay." And then they're about to go to bed, and then they're like, one of the guys is like, "Listen, I don't
want to go to sleep.
I don't trust this." And the guy's like, "Well, I don't either." But
he's like, "Well, why don't you stay up and why don't like you get some sleep and I'll stay up?" He's like, "Well, I'm not tired." And he's like,
"Well,
okay, well, I'll sleep then." And he just like goes the fuck to sleep.
Our dude was like, "I don't care if there's a murderer or not.
Our dude was
I gotta sleep."
It's true. When you're tired,
dude,
like, sometimes you just gotta sleep.
Like sometimes you're just like, I don't care if it's a murderer. You stay awake.
I'm like, fuck it.
I'll sleep.
I'm comfortable. I'll sleep.
And they go to sleep. It shows like we see like our woman who ran away.
She's sleeping under like a rock.
She's sleeping under a rock, and then it's like the morning. The dude wakes our dudes up and is like, "Hey, you gotta leave."
It's like, "You were getting on now," and he's like, "Well, I thought you were gonna stay awake and like watch." And like the dude's like, "Well, I fell asleep." Like it's like, oh my god.
And they go and they find the campsite. And they find like some mud that's sticky.
And they get like all like one of them like so the guy that didn't want to sleep is like all paranoid that they're going to come back to the campsite, so he doesn't want to leave, and the other dude's like,
"We got to go get help.
I'm going to go get help." So he just leaves by himself and leaves the dude at the campsite.
The dude stays. We see like the woman is like wandering around the woods running away from fucking chilly dad, and she starts running into the kids, and they tell her like, we're dead. There's literally a scene where they're like, "Oh, being dead's not so bad. Like being alive's the real."
Didn't she even say like being alive's a drag?
Yeah. Like that they basically got out into the woods and they got sick and they got so tired of living like fucking cannibals in the woods.
They just wanted to die.
They just killed themselves.
Yep.
And I'm just like,
they just noped.
Why is this getting real? Like, what the fuck?
This existential, like, life is bullshit kind of thing where they're just like, nah.
And they keep telling her, like, "Oh, Dad's hungry. Winter's coming. Dad's got to get, like, meat."
When they're like, we like, Mommy was mean. We don't want to be with her. And, like, they explain, like, how, like, the mom was all, like, because she, like, abused them, I guess, or something.
And she locked us in the closet.
I don't even know. But, like, so she, like, is running around the woods with the guy chasing her.
In the meantime,
our other Goomba dad dude fucking, like, trips
and breaks his foot.
And breaks his fucking shin.
And they
like,
show, like...
has to, like, hobble around.
They show, like, he's got, like, a bone sticking out of his leg.
So he, like, finds a stick to lean on and, like, starts hobbling around the woods.
Around the woods while our other guy stays at the camp and starts freaking out because he's hearing noises. And then, of course, he gets attacked by the dude.
In the greatest knife fight ever, they just both drop their knives.
Oh, you mean where they drop their knife right away? Yeah.
And then they, like, have this, like, epic uncle fight.
They have an uncle fight in the woods where they roll around in the dirt, and then they fall in a river.
And he kicks the Chilympian into the fucking river.
And then the Chilympian drowns him. And then the next thing we see, like, it's, like, daytime, and the living woman's being led around by the ghost children, and they're like, "Yeah, one of the guys is he hurt his leg and he's limping. The other one, oh, he's in trouble. He got found." And then she's like, "Take me." And then they take her, and then we see Chili Dad like butchering our dude. So he slits his throat and there's blood everywhere. Then she starts crying, and the dude walks up to her and is like about to slit her throat too.
And the kids stop him,
The kids are like, "Don't do it." if you do, she doesn't want to die, and he's like, none of them want to die. Like, and I'm like,
Okay, yeah, that's
and then
fair.
they're like, we'll never see you again.
And he's like, okay, cool.
And he's like,
I'll stop.
Please no. They're like, we can do that because we're dead. None of this matters because we're dead. And I'm just like...
It sounds like... When we're explaining it, it literally sounds like a student film. Like, it sounds like...
You have to see this.
It sounds like something a high schooler would make.
Like, they're trying to argue the logic of them not seeing their dad anymore because they're dead. And my brain in this scene was like, this is so stupid.
I think goop started coming out of my ears when this was happening.
Like, a goop wrote this.
Yes.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
We'll never see you again, like, even though they're ghosts.
A ghost children arguing with their cannibal dad that if he kills this woman, they'll never see him again. And they're trying to, like, logically argue with him. And I'm just like... what? Like, this is stupid. It's...
Movie lost me.
I'm not joking. This is, like... We've seen some stupid scenes.
We've seen so much dumb shit.
This is one of the stupidest scenes I've ever seen in a movie, because they somehow convince him, and he just leaves.
Yeah, he just is like, okay, cool.
He just leaves, and 5 minutes later, he finds the limping guy.
This guy apparently, the Chilympian, can apparently teleport places.
Dude, he just goes everywhere.
And, like, he's immediately on this hobbling guy. Granted, the hobbling guy can't go fast, but he was, like, all the way the hell across the fucking forest.
And then he finds him. They have a little tussle. And then he's about to kill him. And then...
doesn't our hobbling dude, like, poke him in the stomach with a fucking stick?
Well, he pokes him in the stomach in the beginning. But then after the chilly dad knocks him over, he's about to kill him. Remember the living woman starts running at him with a knife, and someone made a choice.
They did like this strobe effect when
there's like a strobe effect as she's running at him, and I'm like, epilepsy warning much?
Yeah.
And then he's like looking, and then suddenly...
It like flashes between her running with the knife and the wife running with the knife, and like I don't know if this is an allegory of like he saw his wife, he was getting what he deserved, or something.
This is a goop brain that wrote this.
I have no idea.
That's what they thought.
I don't know what they were like. They're like, oh, this is like look at what we're doing. It's an allegory for the wife killing him because he's like owning.
Because he killed her.
He's gonna pay for his fucking like his wrongdoings.
So she kills him. And then the kids are just standing there.
And they're like, okay, we're going to go now. So, like, you have a good time.
We don't know where we're going, but we think it's going to be nice.
You have a good time with your broken leg fucking husband right there.
And then, the woman shows up.
Out. So they go away, and the woman shows up.
Where's my kids? And she's like, they're not here. And she's like, I just, like, heard them. And they're like, well, be that as it may. They're not here.
They just left.
And then...
the mom's like...
Or, like, is that the end? And then the mom is just walking. And we see the cave. The dad's in his wicker rocking chair.
With the kids.
The kids are just staring at him. And then they all disappear. And the mom just has this, like, look of, like, meh on her face. And the credits roll. Goop.
This is, like... even like more lizard brain than I was expecting. Like,
I've seen some lizard brains. I've seen some lizard brains.
This is tiny like pea brain.
This is little
tiny pea brain shit.
Yeah, dude, this is goop. It's goop brain.
It's like a student film.
The writing is student film quality. Like
it is. Like I want to see the script for this fucking movie because it was probably simple.
Well, it's just like Ghost Kids
and a cannibal dad. Not only Ghost Kids, but Ghost Mom
too,
and a cannibal dad wearing a fucking redneck getup,
chili hat.
Dude, I don't. It's entertaining.
It's shocking. Here's what's shocking: It's shocking to me that with how stupid this fucking movie is, that this isn't like. Here's what I don't even know how to say this. It's like it's shocking how stupid this is,
But how like not,
but how
like,
not annoying it is.
it's not annoying or like boring. I mean,
Because like
I wouldn't say it's boring because it's like
because the worst one is always going to be Final Exam. I just don't think any movie's going to be stupider than that and more annoying. What's weird is that the writing in this is arguably even dumber than that. The plot is dumber. The twists and turns,
well, think about it. Like
all of it's dumber.
the Lucifer complex had
Yeah.
a more complex plot,
Yeah.
and it was infinitely more like just fucking
Annoying.
like goop brain,
Yeah.
just melt your fucking mind dumb. And it was boring and just fucking stupid.
But the thing about this,
for some reason, I
not
don't
boring.
know how, but this is not boring, and it's actually laughably entertaining. It's like probably one of the best comedies I've seen
I
in a minute.
think it's honestly, it's like when you have that slasher structure, it's hard to make it boring.
Well, it's also like it's only an hour and 25 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So it's not here to waste your time.
It's not your waste
The
of time.
plot goes pretty quickly. I think honestly what it comes down to is the pacing is pretty surprisingly, I don't know how they
It's
pulled it off,
consistent.
but the pacing is pretty well done.
Well, it's consistent.
It's a consistent pacing because they keep it going and they keep like interesting things happening. How stupid they might be, at least they're interesting
Well,
and something's happening.
Things are happening.
Yes. So at least something is there to entertain you the entire movie, right? Like there's no dull points to
Yeah.
the movie.
And
And I
then-
think that's how it works.
And they do space out all the deaths.
And it's endearing how hard they tried for how fucking stupid everything is in this movie.
Yeah. Ghost Kids.
Ghost Kid's cannibal chili dad.
Like Ghost. I mean, I will say the whole Ghost Kids trying to help our character thing. It's like something out of like a cringy ass like modern horror movie. You know how they always do that stupid thing where like there's a
Yeah.
ghost and it needs something and it's like some stupid fucking kid that's like, oh, you need
Well,
to
even
do
like
this
the
for me."
ghost mom and the ghost kids, like
It's so like at this
like
point.
the plot twist is the mom was like abusive and the kids are trying to run away from their
should run
ghost
away,
mom.
so they have to help the kids and then all
Yeah.
will be good.
And they have to avenge the kids for the mom doing something horrible to them.
I know.
Yeah.
In this, it's like they don't even do that. Like
No, they just like were just like, oh, yep, there's
They're
gonna be
just
ghost
there.
kids, and they're just plot devices. Basically,
thing.
They're a thing to drive the plot along, and they save one of the women.
That's it.
They don't save any other person.
No.
Then they watch every other person die.
They can see things when they're not even there because they're like with the woman and they somehow know exactly where everyone else is.
Which is hilarious because they only save the one girl. They don't tell their dad to stop killing anyone else
Nope, just one.
for whatever reason.
You know why? Goop.
Yep.
Goop writing.
Because who cares?
Who cares?
It's an hour and 25 minutes. I don't think you're going to spend too much.
You know, it's
Like,
an
we're
hour,
spending a lot of thought on it, but I doubt anyone who watches this
an hour
is
25
going to
minute
think
movie
about it.
that probably cost like under $500,000, and they just went in the woods, filmed their actors doing stupid shit, to call it a day.
That's it.
But you know what? It's fine.
Like, honestly, what would you give Shitty to Pretty on this?
I can't.
I
I
might
can't give it too high.
I might go like middle of the road with this one.
I'd give it a 6.
I was gonna say a 5, but just because it's like, it's, you know, it's not bad, but it's not incredible. Like,
Yeah.
there's stuff to watch, but if you just need a throwaway movie to watch, I guess you could do worse than this. But like, that's about it. Like, it's just kind of middle of the road for me.
It's middle of the road. Things
Because,
happen.
Like, it's not incredible. Like, there's nothing that wowed me about this movie at all.
No.
Except for how bad everything is in this movie, and they somehow, I don't even know how, made it work at least enough to keep my attention for an hour and 20
Somehow,
minutes.
yeah, there's a... I mean, it goops its way.
That's how it gooped its way up to 5, okay? Like, that's about all I can give it. It gooped... Shitty to pretty, it gooped its way on to 5.
I don't... This is stupid.
It's just a really dumb movie.
This is really stupid.
It's really stupid, but somehow they made it entertaining. I don't understand how, but they did it.
They didn't cross the line into annoying.
Like absurd, annoying bullshit.
Because that's the fine line, is do not cross the line into being annoying, and thankfully this...
It did not.
It avoided it. It instead just...
Or in my case, if a movie is boring.
Boring?
Like, if I fall asleep, you know it's fucking bad.
It's like, dude, if you can't, like, if you make a slasher boring...
That's a
impressive.
travesty, because they're not long. It's an easy formula.
The whole point is people get killed.
You just need to kill people in interesting ways. That's all you need to do in a slasher.
That's it. If you make that boring,
And it's like an hour and 30 minutes. Like
you're
not filling up like a 3-hour epic.
Your audience gets bored. You throw in a death.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's all you need to do.
That's
and this
the easiest
movie did
thing, and it's wonderful.
And then, they were just like, we can't think of any deaths because there's only 4 people in the entire movie.
So they threw
in ghost children.
They threw in a flashback.
And ghost children.
And our dude murders a refrigerator repairman and his wife.
In the wackiest way possible.
And they just have 2 uncles running around throwing objects at each other. And, like, probably actually getting hurt on camera because... They're like, fuck it, just throw chairs at each other. I don't care.
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares? You're getting paid money. What's that? Throw a chair at Uncle.
Yeah, there you go.
You see that stick there on the ground? Just pick that up and just break it over his back.
Yeah, there you go.
It's fine.
See that piece of wood in the fire? Yeah, poke him. Poke him in the
There's
stomach.
There's a scene where he's fighting with one of the guys, and he picks up the burning wood in the pile and starts smacking him on the back with it. And it's just like, that's mildly impressive. Because, I mean, if he smacked him in the wrong place,
just start a fire?
Smack him in the face with that, that's a serious injury. But, I guess the life of a barely above homebrew film.
Barely.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Squeaks by.
They're like... Just take that thing and just try real hard not to smack him in the sensitive area.
If you'd like to watch The Forest, you can watch it free on YouTube. Mm-hmm. There are ads unless you have YouTube Premium.
It's it is in HD.
It is HD. It's a pretty good rip. I'm not gonna lie. It's really
movie looks good.
It looks good. Just you have to ignore all the gameplay videos of the game The Forest. So search The Forest 1982 and you'll find it. It's like the first one.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, it was. That was it. That's all I gotta say. I don't know. There's nothing else to say in this movie. It's just kind of a throwaway one.
That's it. That's all, folks.
For They Mostly Come Out at Night, this has been Will.
This has been Alex.
We'll talk to you all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Goop.